Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hashtag Originals. Originals is for the groundbreakers, for the real insights, professional learning. Today, we have Anubhav Goyal, who just recently graduated from Mika and had been the second runner up of ITC B Plan competition. Let's hear from him more on his practical insights he has gained and can share with us with the wisdom of learning. But before do so, if you're not joined the Marketing Soul community, do join now. Link will be in the description and available on our website, themarketingsoul.com. With this, I welcome you, Anubhav, to Hashtag Originals. How are you?
I'm doing good, Sachin. How are you?
I'm absolutely fine. So, new corporate life is about to begin, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So, give us some tips for great MBA experience. Know what to do, what not to do, how to take it further.
So, if I talk about my MBA experience, so it has been a roller coaster ride because you would never imagine, doing a full time MBA from home. So the second year itself was done from home, like the entire thing, doing these case competitions, doing the placement and everything went from home itself. So for the people who will be starting their MBA journey soon, my biggest tip would be to be open for new experiences. So we like I am a fresher, so I moved from engineering to MBA right away. So I thought that okay, how different will it be? Because I was studying and how different will an MBA be? But to be honest, it was like all my aspirations and everything went down the hill because it's really a roller coaster ride. And for people who are gonna join back the academy after working in the industry, it's also tough for them because they're kind of used to having those money at the end of every month in their bank account, so they have that luxury of things. But here you are with studying with someone who's, let's say, 21, 22 years old, and you're 26, 28, end up possibly ending up with the same package at the end of 2 years. So we have to be open for new experiences. That's one key thing, because this pandemic has taught me specifically that if you start planning in one direction, then it doesn't go in that direction. Because I if I talk about myself, the thing was that joined MBA so that I'll move away from the technical field. But here I am going to start my career in a digital transformation company soon. So you have to be open for new changes that await you. Then this is coming from a personal experience that I wasn't someone who was open for conversations with people. So this kind of limited me to having broader knowledge of any particular domain or how to improve. So I remember during my like having conversation with one of the seniors, and he went through my summer placement CV, because that is the first big thing that you do in an MBA college. So he went through it and he's like, why didn't you take help? Ask me for help that time. I was like, I was afraid that what you might think of me, that isko itna bhi nahi aata and all. So this is something that you should not do. So be open. Like if you find someone, let's say you resonate with or had a conversation with, just make sure you connect with them and learn something from that person. Because obviously, if somebody is in the second year or somebody who's an alumni of that college, he'll have a better perspective on how to tackle things moving further. Because you will never realize then these 2 years will pass, and what you could have gained out of those 2 years. So my tip will be to reach out to alumni at the very early stage and start connecting with them, because this will just ensure that you can extract the maximum out of your MBA. Because no two people will have the same MBA experiences, but it's just about finding your calling and make sure that you get the maximum out of it. Third will be, you might have heard, like people would have heard, that MBA is all about networking and it's about building that connection. But the way I see it is not about networking in terms of numbers, but in terms of quality. So if suppose you are currently aspiring to have an FMCG start, so summer internship is the biggest breakthrough that you will first have. So in order to do so, you need to be acquainted what the FMCG companies require. Now, if you are someone who's aspiring for, let's say, an Hindustan Unilever or a PNG, it's better to talk with people who have worked in those industries or are currently working there. So it's about networking the right way. And to be honest, whenever I reach out to people for help, any kind of help, as small as helping me in a classroom assignment, that what could be done, they never said that I'm busy or uh, contact somebody else. Everybody is kind of ready to help you. So you have to make sure that you find, if you aspire to be in a particular industry or you're just curious about to know something new, just connect with these people. Now people just say that I have above 5,000 connections on LinkedIn, so I'm very good at networking, but that doesn't make sense, because see, in the end those numbers won't do anything if you are not able to extract anything out of it. Are you able to leverage a live project out of those network, then it's a good thing. So make sure that you network the right way, and you clear your intentions, that okay, if I'm, let's say, connecting with Sachin this moment, my intention is to get a live interview out of him so that he makes me famous on LinkedIn. I set my expectations clear. If he understands and respects, it's well and good. If he doesn't, then it doesn't matter to me, right? I have 1,000 people who are doing the same thing. So if you set your expectations right in the front, it's easy for both the parties to communicate further, and you will be able to better understand that is this the right person who can give me that kind of knowledge that is required. Then I would suggest that you have to choose your battles in MBA. It's about, see, even though Mica is a college that is specialization in marketing, we had courses from other domains as well. Now if you're talking about general MBA, it may so happen that someone who's very inclined to do something in a operations role or a supply chain role or something related to finance. So you, and since the time is limited, everybody has those 24 hours itself. So I would suggest that choose your battle. So if you're someone who's, let's say, inclined in marketing, so start giving importance to marketing courses right away, because that will help you craft your 2 years well, well in advance. So choose your battles. This also goes to the fact that how you choose your companies that you want to apply for, because as per my understanding that not every college says that you have to apply for every company that comes your way. You have to choose again which company to apply for and which not to apply for. This also goes to the fact that as soon as you start with the MBA journey, right? So in July to September time is when a lot of corporate competitions open up. So you'll notice that okay, ITC has opened up, then you have Unilever opening up, then you have PNG, then Mahindra, and also everything opens up like 5-10 days here and there. So you have to choose your battle. Okay, that if suppose I aspire to be a part of Mahindra, then I should have something with me that gives me the bandwidth to do that, because corporate competitions will go on and on, but your academics will also be there. So you have to choose your battles wisely. Then one important thing is that a lot of people don't start focus like this initially start focusing on the case studies in the classroom, but they don't do that for a long time. They're like the professor doesn't ask questions, so how does it make sense to spend a night doing that case study without any fruitful thing? But I would suggest that if you invest some amount of time in doing a case study in the classrooms and all, this just helps you ease that lecture easy, very smoothly. So and this also makes sure that you learn that concept. So if suppose I was someone interested in, let's say, a media course, so I would make sure that I was learning that, doing those case studies and those projects nicely. It didn't matter to me to that the professor is not discussing the case study, or my peers are not working on this case study, or people in my team are not working. If I was interested, I was like, "Ki, I don't mind doing the presentation end to end, because I have invested my 20 lakhs. I'm going to invest my 2 years. So it's up to me how you make the most of it. Because once that corporate competition season and the summer placement season is over, you practically have nothing more to do. You're just bounded with your, let's say, committee work or your academics. So it's up to you how you use your time wisely. And case studies in class is very nice, as they are like Harvard case studies or Ivy League case studies. So it gave a broader perspective on how the business is run. And lastly, I would say that biggest thing is that you be prepared to show up, because I have met people who, let's say we have made a group of 5 6 people, and three of them never showed up for any group work or anything, and this just diminishes your network that you have. Because I wouldn't like, because after 2 years you never know where this person will end up being. So if you just show up, right, that okay, I was there, I just provided with an insight or something that we can do, people do remember. Because I will tell you a personal example. So we have this thing at Mica that the graduating batch write testimonials for the batchmates. And if I when I went through my testimonials, right, the what people have written for me, people had pointed out, like I had interacted with them only for once or twice in the entire 2 years, but they remember those things. And this is what matters, because in the end, not everybody is going to go in the same company. So if you just show up and tell people that I know something, what if that you reach out to that person down the line for a referral in his company, and he was like, yeah, I worked with this guy, I know this guy in and out, let's have him on team. So just show up. That tells a lot about who you are as a person.
Perfect.
And my biggest, uh, if I could go with the what not to
Please.
do, the biggest thing is that don't take it as a rat race. My single biggest advice is don't take it as a rat race. Every person has something destined for him or her. So just make sure that you find your calling and you stick to that. If you start taking at a rat race, then you'll be very depressed, I would say, because you will have people in your batch who will be earning, let's say, a stipend of 1.5 to 2 lakh rupees, and you are someone who is earning a stipend of 25,000. Now, if you start taking all these things very closely personally, then it may so happen that you will get depressed, and it will spoil the fun that MBA has to offer. So just open, be open to failure, and don't take it as a rat race. Because the day you start taking it as a rat race, you'll find enough opportunities to get depressed or feel yourself as a failure. Because no matter how good you are with something, there will be definitely someone who's better at something else. So take it as an opportunity to learn from that person, but not as an opportunity to see yourself as a failure. That's my biggest advice for the people who are gonna join MBA soon.
Abhinav, I'm feeling so proud today. And the reason beyond is ki, just to share with you, you are the inspiration behind starting hashtag originals, and this been the
I
first or second episode only. And the, how it clicked in my mind, because I used to do hashtag marketers talk only. So that was
okay.
about all the CXO level conversation, where we used to brainstorm, or our top level executives used to share their mantras, their lifestyles, and their aspect around what they have learned over in years. But when I saw your case study presentation and discussion and around, I thought there is another aspect of the learning that can come from the on ground breakers, people like you. So is the reason I started this hashtag originals. So it means the people like you on the ground showcasing the best of the learning, which no, it is there. So congratulations for that.
Thank you, Sachin. Like, I
Great.
don't really know that whether I justify the all the fancy words that you have awarded with me, but it's. I feel that platforms like this just gives a different perspective to MBA. Because, like I said, no two people will have the same kind of learnings and outcomes from a MBA. So these platforms just opens up that what different MBA has to offer. So definitely, this is something that I'll be looking forward to listening to other people who are part of this series. So
For sure.
yeah,
For sure. So, taking our conversation forward, your internship experience was around in India Mart. So, can you share more about product management and how to improve a product?
okay. So first of all, since this was my summer internship thing, and I was among the last people in the batch to get placed, so I was kind of lucky that I got a role that was very much in demand. So if you look at the startup ecosystem these days, a lot of focus, like high paying jobs, are in the field of product management or product marketing. So then I started researching about what actually product management is. So I came to know that it sits at the intersection of UX, business, and the tech. So a product manager has to be accustomed, like has to have some kind of familiarity with all the three aspects. Now, since it was an internship, I wouldn't say that I was able to, delve into all the three aspects very correctly. And this was also a COVID year. So COVID had just struck, and all the businesses across India were just, trying to mitigate the losses and everything. So when we started at India Mart, so what they were essentially doing was they were trying to revamp the categories that were seeing a surge. So there were categories such as the face shield mask and the oxygen cylinders, the sanitizers, and all. Such categories were starting to see a surge because people were starting to search that, okay, I need this in bulk. So all their teams were revamped in order to mitigate, in order to show that they can get more sellers on board, and at the same time make sure that if someone is searching for a N95 mask, he's getting the right results. So my work was with two categories. So one was 3D printers. So due to the rise in the use of ventilator pipes and all, so people were starting to use put a queries on how to get 3D printers and all the materials. So 3D printers was a new category that they had on started on IndiaMart. And at the same time there was another category of flour mills, wherein since a lot of farms were not able to send their harvest to the factories and all to get processed and all, so people work looking for avenues where they can process it themselves. So they saw a surge in domestic flour mills. So these were the two categories I worked on, and the overall work that was done was to make sure that if let's say a particular person is searching for a particular type of flour mill, so all the search queries are mapped onto the product's title tag and the meta description and all. Then if somebody is new to the category, let's say I'm new to a 3D printer category, so the aim was to make sure that there's enough information provided on the landing page so that the person knows that which kind of 3D printer to buy or to invest in, or which one will work best for ventilator pipes or which one will not work. What is the quantity? What is the kind of uh, material that is required? So the the overall aim was to ensure that if the person is searching, then his experience is good, that he doesn't have to, like, he completes the purchase. This also, I was also at the same time reading about more about management and product marketing. Then I came across one or two interviews where I heard somebody who's working with booking.com, and she's working as a product manager based out of Amsterdam, I think. So she what she said that her entire work is to make sure that there's less amount of drop off at each step. So how do you ensure that if somebody is searching at Google that, okay, I'm looking for a trip from 14 January to 17 January, so that gets captured right away, and when he's opening booking.com, that gets captured, so he doesn't have to type that again. So product manager, so essentially they're working on one simple product. Let's say her product would be to ensure that the information is captured and there's less time required for making a booking. Then people at Amazon, what they essentially did was they reduced the payment process from 3 steps to 2 steps, because they were noticing as soon as I include one more step, the tendency to buy drops by 33%. 33%. So why not do it a two-step process? So that's how save your card for later and all these things came into being. So product management, you have to stick observe the consumer very nice closely, because no two consumers are the same. So you basically identify what kind of technology or interventions should be done so that the maximum it produces the maximum business for the company. And this also has to be done in synergy with the technology team and the UX team, because there would be certain technological limitations or UX limitations. So you have to be very, like, it's not that you should be a designer or a coder. but you should know the final nuances, that what amount of technology things that can be done at a early step. It's because it's all because it's always an iterative process, because it's not possible to do no product is complete ever. It's always, it's always day one kind of thing, like they say in Amazon, because you're always making something and improving that thing. So never strive for completion, always strive for to make sure that the basic thing is done in the correct way, and then keep on improving that. And this can only happen when you get comfortable with data. You would have read about A/B testing, that if I do put a message that 20% off, or get this at 80%, so what's the click through rate in the two. So in this aspect, I would say that be open for changes and embrace data. So this will just help you sail like down a hat of a product manager nicely. And this is broadly what I was able to do in those 2 months. But obviously I have read about this thing, so it would make sense that you land up this role after a few years of corporate experience, because then you understand the finer nuances of the tech as well as the UX. Because if you start embrace this role right away after your MBA, it may so happen that you're not able to deliver to the best of your abilities. And this, since being it's a high paid role, it's one of the highest paid role in the marketing world. So I would say that in order to justify the cost you're putting to the company, you'll have to deliver the results, which can only happen if you have embraced all these finer nuances and have certain experience in the same.
That's right. That's right. And so nicely explained the nuances of the internship and as well as the learnings out of it. So kudos for it. Taking ahead, let's bring the real conversation about your case study, B plan, in which you won the prize in ITC Limited. Share something like how you identified the problem and how you figure out the solution for it. So, a certain process.
So if you talk about this particular case study, rather a lot of case studies last year, what about how businesses you would revamp or mitigate the risk. So ITC gave us an open-ended case that identify, like, take any of the businesses and chalk out a new product or new transitions for that particular brand that they had. So I was this idea of working with the doing something for the pregnant women stem from the fact that I was kind of reading something on the internet, and I saw that not many companies are venturing into this domain. So we had previous players like Thepton, in I think Thepton or something like that, which has been there for ages, but there's nothing developed. And the rising case of anemia and all was getting more and more there. And with the rise of COVID, so there was a lot of problem that the women face, because the medical facilities were taking a toll and all. So then the final nuance of putting it as a biscuit, I would say, stem from the fact that we identify how the people in general behave. So if I particularly ask you to take a pill, then either you'll have to set an alarm that, okay, I have to take a pill at this time, or you'll have somebody who will remind you for the same. High likelihood is that you don't remember. People don't remember that they have to take a pill at this time. And when you look at the things that they consume, then we found that in India particularly, a lot of people consume tea, right? And they don't mind taking anything, like taking something along with that. So what we did, we identified that is it possible to have something put in the biscuits to make sure that the people don't forget taking it. Because I'm pretty sure that when somebody wakes up in the morning or comes back after the work, they have something liquid, because this is relaxes the day or sets the tone for the day, right? So why not do something that is very close to that particular product, and do something around that. Then the final nuances, that then we identify that how many uh, you know units of iron and folic acid are required in a particular day. This happened with conversation with people who conceived recently, had deliveries, and even my mother. So a lot of insights from this for this case study came from my mother, who said that what could we consume. That then I asked that, is it okay to take caffeine? It's like everything is allowed, just in the right amounts. There's You shouldn't go access in that. Obviously alcohol is and all is not allowed, not thing, but caffeine and all to a certain extent is allowed. So make sure that whatever you suggest is on the right tones. Then the idea of putting flavors to it. So give give the suggestion that why not have this product in different flavors, because Threptin, to our knowledge, was not providing different flavors. And if somebody is taking that thing for, let's say, a period of 9 months, right, you will get bored that okay, it's coming in the same flavor every day. So why not do something in by providing different flavors? So we brought in flavors. I think we did something around strawberry and other strawberry, vanilla, and all, just to ensure that people have different flavors when they're consuming the same. So then we move further. Then we analyze that. Then we identify what price we should play in. So this was done basically how much people are ready to afford. So this was if we pitched a mock product to them that if suppose we are coming with a product, what amount they are willing to pay. Then it boiled down to around 5 to 6 rupees a biscuit, because since they are energy biscuits, so people don't mind paying the extra one. Now, if I say now, since it was a very niche product targeted specifically towards the women, and that to the pregnant women, we identified that doing a mass marketing won't make sense for us. So we identify who will be the right influences for this kind right purchase. Then we identify that not a lot of brands are pitching to directly towards the gynec. So if we start getting them on board as influencers for our product, there is a high there's a high chance that the people will end up buying it, because from our interactions with all these women, we found out that whatever the gynec says, they end up adopting that in their lifestyle. If the gynec says that start eating mum yum, that the name we gave to the biscuits that we made, so there's a high likelihood that the person will stay. Now there's this concept that it takes 21 days to form a habit. Now we are talking about a product that will possibly be consumed for a good period of 9 months, right? And essentially this will ensure that the person is hooked onto that product, start taking that, because and we can adopt that product in different formats by lowering the iron and folic acid, and it can be just a flavored multigrain biscuit down the line. But if you have someone who is buying that product for 9 months straight, this will essentially happen. What will essentially do is make sure that the people have a good loyalty to that thing. So this was our project, and we estimated that the lifetime value for just this product would be somewhere around 6,000 rupees, which is huge for an FMCG brand. And moving forward, we projected that this could be given to adolescent girls in terms of health drink powders and all. That will just increase the lifetime value of a particular customer. So this is broadly how we tackle the ITC limited case.
Perfect, perfect. And in fact, this brings me the question around the consumer behavior. So,
Yeah.
what the traits that you identified, or you may identify when it comes to the product development? In brief.
So one key thing is that whenever you're doing any consumer research, is to understand, is to keep it open ended, I would say, and at the same time be like don't lead the person to a particular direction. So when we interacted with these women, we never let them to say कि हमें खाने में क्या पसंद है. It stemmed out from their habits, their media consumption thing, and the things that they usually buy. Then it eventually boiled down to that. So whenever you're doing understanding a consumer, it's better to keep it open ended and then take final nuances and then go again to that particular person with your idea that okay, we are projecting this, how do you think that this would work or not. So this is, I think, what consumer behavior plays, understanding of consumer behavior plays in a product development. You'll have to understand what the usual traits are without directing them towards a particular direction.
That's right. That's right. And finally, the last question would be, who, according to you, is a great marketer?
I kind of said it earlier as well. The marketer for tomorrow or a great marketer would be someone who starts embracing data. A lot of things, like let's say this usually doesn't happen in a B school because you don't get access to a lot of data. But from what I have interacted with seniors and all, it's the moment you start embracing data, that's when you have to, that's around which you have to start making your business plans or the marketing plans. So all these ideas in the top levels don't go without data. So it's better to start embracing data soon in your B school life or your marketing life, and that will just pave a way, like give data importance in your decisions. So even in ITC, we started looking at the stats, that what's the rate of anemia in India, and what's the rate of all these things around anemia and all. So start embracing data, because this will just pave a way to give you a direction in the big world, I would say.
And what else you think would help to become a great marketer apart from data?
One is data, and one is be open for changes. So if you would notice that the recent ad of Magic Pin and Cred. So Cred did something, then Magic Pin took stemmed from that particular thing, that okay, this they're just talking about the bread points and not something tangible. And Magic Pin say that we are providing you real cash or real saving. So be open to changes. So they saw it as an opportunity to leverage their product or their services. So be open to changes. If you're someone who's very rigid that I don't want to change, then it won't that you won't survive. So all the businesses you have properly interacted with in the past 1 year have seen a turnaround change. So it's better you start embracing those changes. And this is something that every day a B school life will teach you. No 2 days at a B school are same. So the moment you start embracing change and looking for the positives in anything, in every scenario, then then it is going to help you as a marketer and as a professional for sure.
That's for sure. I think that this brings up a wrap up to the show. Thank you so much, Anubhav, for sharing the wonderful insights with us. And I heartily congratulate you for the next journey that you are going to have in your corporate life, right? And
Thank you so much,
to
sir.
our viewers, thank you for listening to us. And the most important part, if you have not joined the community as of now, so do join it. We would be sharing the link in the description itself. Thank you so much for today's show.